Hello, in this video, we'll explore Kirchhoff's first law with simple examples. The school experiment demonstrating Kirchhoff's first law should be conducted by you or with the help of teachers during basic and advanced physics classes. Additionally, I'll touch upon the topic of series and parallel resistor connections and calculating the equivalent resistance. Let's get started. I'll use simulations that are a bit clearer than a tangle of wires connected haphazardly. To make things easier, I've created a PCB model with marked paths. On the board, I've placed digital voltmeters and ammeters in various locations, which you could easily buy if you wanted to. I've also added a 9-volt battery and a switch. I'm not building an analog circuit with wires here because it's more work to model, and no one would appreciate it anyway. Plus, the dozen wires scattered across the table would make it less clear. I think you'll agree that such a setup wouldn't make much sense. Let's move on to the experiment. At this point, there is one active path in the circuit through which current flows. The current passes through a single resistor in the circuit. The resistance of such a resistor is determined by the color bands marked on it. For example, this resistor has a resistance of 6 ohms because it has a black band, 0, and a blue band, 6, giving the value 6. The penultimate band on a 4-band resistor is the multiplier, which in this case is black, representing 1. The last band indicates tolerance, which in short shows how much the actual resistance may deviate from the marked value. This circuit also includes an ammeter, which is connected in series with the resistor and battery. It shows the current flowing through the circuit. For simplicity, we won't bother with meter class or measurement uncertainties. There's also a voltmeter permanently soldered to the circuit, connected in parallel to the resistor. You might wonder about the plain copper wire, but it's there to close the circuit. We'll replace it with a resistor later. Such a circuit can be represented schematically as follows. We can determine the resistance of this resistor directly using Ohm's law. By substituting the voltage and current values read from the meters into the formula, we calculate the resistor's resistance. As you can see, it's slightly different than what the first 3 bands suggest, but the result falls within tolerance. Determining a resistor's resistance through the current flowing through it and the voltage across it allows for much greater accuracy. A different resistor of the same type would naturally have a different resistance, but it would still fall within the 10% tolerance. Let's modify the circuit and add another resistor, one with better tolerance, to replace the copper wire. You'll notice that the current flowing through the circuit is now lower, and the sum of the voltages across these resistors equals the battery's voltage. It's worth remembering that the higher the resistance, with the same battery voltage, the lower the current in the circuit. This type of resistor connection is called a series connection. For series connections, we can calculate an equivalent resistance. What's the point of calculating equivalent resistance? It simplifies circuit analysis. Instead of analyzing each resistor individually, you can simplify everything to a single element with equivalent resistance. This makes it easier to calculate total current, voltage, and power in the circuit, which helps in choosing an appropriate power source or circuit protection, such as a fuse. It also helps you understand how the circuit works and how to modify its configuration to improve it. Let's calculate the equivalent resistance of these resistors. It's nearly 10 ohms, and if we ignored tolerance, it would be exactly 10 ohms. Notice that if I take a new resistor with resistance equal to the sum of these 2 initial resistors and place it in the second circuit, the current flowing through it is identical to the current in the first circuit branch. More importantly, The total power of this circuit with a single resistor having an equivalent resistance is exactly the same as the power of the circuit consisting of two resistors. This can be easily demonstrated by calculating the power across each individual resistor, adding these powers, and observing that the power on the equivalent resistor is identical. Now let's modify the circuit by swapping the resistors. While it may seem silly, notice that the current remains the same as before, but the voltage drop across the resistors changes along with the resistors. This happens because, using Ohm's law, knowing the current and resistance of each resistor, the voltage must match the meter readings. Let's modify the circuit once more. I'll move one resistor to a different location. Add a wire to close the circuit and see what happens. Now, the voltmeters in the circuit show the same voltage across the resistors, meaning their sum no longer equals the battery voltage. Did Ohm's law stop working? Of course not. If the voltage across the resistors differs while their resistances remain unchanged, the current flowing through them must have changed. Looking at the ammeters, you'll notice a correlation. The total current equals the sum of the currents in each branch of the circuit. This is Kirchhoff's first law. It states that the total current entering a node equals the total current leaving it. In simple terms, when current reaches a junction where it can flow along multiple paths, it splits based on the resistance of each path. More current flows through the path with less resistance. Kirchhoff's first law is rooted in the principle of charge conservation, ensuring that no charge is lost or created at a junction. This type of connection, where two resistors are connected, is called parallel connection. The equivalent resistance for parallel connections is calculated using a specific formula, requiring a good grasp of fractions. Notice that if I place a resistor with equivalent parallel resistance in the second circuit, the current through it matches the total current flowing into the two parallel resistors. In high school, you'll encounter tests with problems requiring you to calculate equivalent resistances for resistors connected in various ways, often designed to be challenging. The simplest problems involve three resistors connected in series and parallel. For example, knowing their resistances and the battery voltage, you'll need to calculate the equivalent resistance and the current through each resistor. To solve such problems, start by calculating the equivalent resistance for parallel resistors, then add it to the series resistances to get the total equivalent resistance. Using Ohm's law, you can then find the total current in the circuit. From there, calculate the voltage across each resistor. The remaining battery voltage will be distributed across the parallel resistors. Knowing the voltage and resistance of each allows you to calculate the current through them. To verify, use Kirchhoff's first law to check if the current entering a node equals the current leaving it. If it does, the solution is correct. That's it for this video. The key takeaways are understanding how resistors are connected, calculating equivalent resistance, and applying Kirchhoff's first law. You've also seen an experiment that's rarely demonstrated in schools. Take care.